are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
This kid is special, man. This you didn't even think to do that.
Gonna run for it, he got it, and there he goes. Oh, the play of the year in the NFL. Throws intercepted by Surtain. Nobody's gonna catch him.
Jones to the end zone, touchdown.
Quincy Williams leveling Murray. There he goes. Jamar Chase.
Not yet.
Touchdown Bengals. Stafford, Williams. What a hit by Buda Baker. Buda Baker just saved the touchdown.
Premium canned cocktails crafted by NYC bartenders with a playful spirit. Enjoy their award-winning espresso martini with Italian espresso and chocolate notes, the crisp Moscow Mule with Nigerian ginger, or the spicy margarita with organic agave and jalapeno. These ready-to-drink treats are made with the finest ingredients. Grab yours at velvetlama.com and ride the smooth wave with Velvet Llama. So obviously the Pack riding the smooth wave last night, 27-18 over the Commanders. And
I heard there was some controversy.
In terms of,
I don't know. I saw on X or something with Love. It cost him something. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, let me know if you find that, or if anybody else knows what Michael is referring to. Ernie might know. I mean, the Velvet Llamas might have blurred my viewing of this game, so maybe I missed something. But anyway, I thought the Packers were just in command of this entire game. 27-18, and it felt like it wasn't even that close. I know the Commanders did have that touchdown there at the end of the game. But Daniels, I mean, 24 of 42, 18 incompletions, a brutal loss for the Commanders as Austin Eckler looks like he tore his Achilles. That could be a career ender. I know he's like around 30, so that's a tough one. They're going to do final tests today. So, the Green Bay defense really bottling up Jaden Daniels. He only ran for 17 yards on the ground, 2.4 yards per carry. He was sacked 4 times. Micah Parsons getting on the stat sheet again with 2 tackles and a half of a sack. You also look at this for Washington. I mean, Debo did have a good game. Not really much in terms of yardage, 7 for 44, but did have another touchdown, and Ertz with a touchdown as well. But I thought Jordan Love played great, 19 to 31, 292, 2 touchdowns. Tucker Kraft, how about that? 6 for 124 and a score, including a 57-yarder. And then Wicks, 4 for 44. Looks like Reed is out, I think maybe for the season. I know he got injured as well. And I thought they ran the ball effectively. Jacobs, 84 yards and a score. So just a solid win, short week. And the Packers are definitely tough to beat at home. But it was interesting. Some of the guys in the TCA chat before, I think actually Colin might have been talking about this, but just, referring to a sophomore slump with Jaden Daniels. I'm not buying that. I think, the Packers defense represents a challenge for Daniels. But I think he's going to be just fine. Obviously, this wasn't his shining moment, whatever you want to call it, finest moment. Only a quarterback rating of 26.9. But I think as the season progresses, he'll be fine. I mean, he didn't even turn the ball over, just didn't make those explosive plays that we typically, associate Jaden Daniels with. And you look at what's coming up here for the Washington Commanders. Looks like, and of course, I went to the game log and I thought they would show the rest of the games, but I'll just go to the team schedule here. Coming up next week, obviously a little more rest. You're home to the Raiders, at the Falcons, at the Chargers, home to the Bears, at the Cowboys, at the Chiefs, home to the Seahawks. So definitely, really all, competitive teams. You look at that schedule and obviously the Chiefs stand out. The Chargers, they looked pretty good. Raiders, Falcons, Bears, Cowboys, those are teams that I think will be competitive, but I don't think, we're going to be shocked if, Washington ends up winning all those games. And I would not be surprised either, even though I do think Pete Carroll changing the culture over there in Las Vegas. But I do think, we're going to see the Jaden Daniels that we saw last year next week against the Raiders. That's for sure. This was just a tough assignment. But I think both teams are going to be in the conversation down the stretch. And I mean, how do you not look at the Packers right now? And I know, of course, you have the Eagles, as the defending Super Bowl champs, but I think it's so hard to repeat. I mean, other than the Chiefs just doing it, it had been 20 years pretty much since we had, a team, win back-to-back championships. So I think it just takes a lot out of you. There's always a lot of roster turnover because guys get big contracts and you can't keep everybody. So, even though the Eagles will be a force this year, absolutely, I don't know. I just look at this right now, and it does seem like the Packers, are the best team in the NFC. And taking a look at, their upcoming schedule, you're at the Browns next week, at the Cowboys the following week, and then home to the Bengals, at the Cards, at the Steelers. So a lot of road games coming up. I mean, you look at what's coming up here, and, I mean, you got 4 out of 5 on the road, but obviously that'll mean more home games down the stretch. And, I think that's definitely a manageable schedule, the Steelers game, Sunday Night Football on the 26th of next month. That's going to be a good one. Patty versus Ernie, I guess you could say there. And, of course, a Super Bowl rematch from the last time the Packers not only were in the Super Bowl, but won the Super Bowl. So that should be a great game. So despite some injuries in this, I think both teams, have a lot to look forward to this season. So we'll see what happens. And obviously we have a full slate of games scheduled for this Sunday, but we do have the picks with the TCA as well. And they texted me over their picks this morning. They pick first because we had first pick last week. We both went 2-1. So we'll just see who can pick up some traction this week. But so they go with the Rams minus 2.5. I just want to take a look at this. So the Rams here are playing the Titans, but it's not 2.5, it's 5.5. So I'm going to actually make that correction here for Kev Dew, trying to get some free points there. But that's why you got to check things out. You never know with these Mets fans, right, Michael?
Oh yeah, you could never tell.
So yeah, Rams 5.5. But even though road game, kind of a square type of bet, I think the Titans do kind of suck. Cam Ward, I think eventually will be good, but I don't really like Callahan. So I do like that one for them. And then they go Chargers minus 3.5. So that is a Monday Night Football game. So that's interesting. Kev going against the Raiders. So going with the Chargers on the road again. I think that is a good pick, though. The Chargers are the better team, and really do like what Jim Harbaugh is doing there. Justin Herbert, his development, all of that. So, so they go Chargers there, 3.5, and then the Steelers minus 3.5, and they are playing Seattle. That game in Pittsburgh. So I think those are solid picks, and obviously we got to make our picks here. So kind of just looking here at what we got for the lines. Kind of tempted to go Broncos on the road in Indy. I think everybody's kind of like enamored with Daniel Jones, his performance last week, but it was against a soft Miami Dolphin defense. I think it's going to be a little different here going against Denver. So I think I'm going to just go with that. So I'm going to type this in now so I don't forget. So it's going to be Broncos minus 1.5. And let's see what else we got here. Eagles Chief, that one is a little too hard to pick. Cincy, could it be a trap game? 3.5 against Jacksonville. No, I gotta go with Kev's favorite team here, the Dallas Cowboys, minus 5.5. Oh, that number's too high. Nonsense. Russell Wilson. I think he maybe should have retired like 5 years ago. So we'll go the Cowboys here minus 5.5. I just think the schedule, it's tough for the Giants, and I know people saying Dable, coach for his job, got to show competitive enough, but patchwork offensive line, and it looks like they don't want to play dart till later in the year. So I think you're going to have some ugly performances, so I will go with Dallas there minus 5.5. And then final selection here, Patriots against the Dolphins is tempting. Is the Niners game a trap? It feels like it. And then you do have the Jets, but it just feels like that's one of those things where it would be nice. And yes, we do have the history with the Bills. I hate just going all favorites, but sometimes you can't force it. So I'll go, but Mac Jones too. But still, the Niners, even with Kittle out, even with Ayuk out, I feel like they still should beat the Saints. All right, yeah, I'll just go with the 49ers. I know it's a backup quarterback, a little dangerous on the road, but I do think Kyle Shanahan, especially in the regular season, is a good coach. So I'm going to send this over to them now, but we'll go Broncos minus 1.5, Cowboys minus 5.5, and the 49ers minus 3.5. So those are the picks there. And obviously, like I said, we do have a ton of games to pick here. So I guess we could say, Michael, if you want to strike up the music, another NFL pick segment here. And this one is brought to you by Velvet Llama. So we will start here, 1 o'clock window. And we have the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Always a little weird with that pronunciation. But anyway, Bengals minus 3.5. Obviously they looked like shit against the Browns. We realize that. But I think we are going to see Burrow, Chase, Higgins, Hendrickson making plays on the outside. I know Jacksonville, they look great, but they're playing the Carolina Panthers. So I think the Bengals will win and cover. Joe Burrow, I'm going to say 350 through the air, 3 scores, 2 to Chase, 1 to Higgins. Bengals winning this game. Let's say 31-17. So that would be just on the under, and then the Bengals with the 3.5. We mentioned the Cowboys and Giants, and I know Giants fans, I think going into the year, we should beat Dallas. We're better than Dallas, this and that. But obviously a little deflated after that Commanders game last week. So I think Dallas just absolutely dismantles the Giants. I think through the air, the running game, I just think the Giants look like a defeated team early here as Brian Daboll, like we said, coaching for his job. But I think Dallas wins this one. Let's say 35-20. So that'll be the Cowboys and the over there. And I would definitely do CeeDee Lamb, anytime touchdown, over yards, over receptions, and go George Pickens for a score while we're at it. Bears-Lions, the Ben Johnson reunion game. Do they go tribute video at Ford Field there? 6.5 could potentially be high. The Lions didn't look great at Lambeau. Obviously, that's a road game, tough game, divisional game. I think they are the better team than the Bears, but I don't like them to cover here. So I'm going to say the Lions win a close one. And still some questions about, is this team as good as it's been the last couple of years? Because obviously that didn't look to be the case last week. Obviously, it's one game. What do they do this week? But I think they're going to win this game, I say, by a field goal. So let's go 27-24. So we'll go Lions. Bears plus 6.5 and the over 46.5. All right. Next game up here, Rams-Titans. I spoke about this for a second. Yeah, I just think the Titans just not ready. I think the Rams with Kyron Williams will get a lot of, big chunk plays here. Nakua, Adams as well. So I think this is a beatdown. This is 45-14. So we'll go Rams and the over there. Patriots-Dolphins doesn't quite have the juice that it used to back when Tommy was playing there for the Patriots. And the Dolphins always seem like they used to win when they played this game in Miami, just because of the hot weather. There was, I know the Patriots lost on some miracle play by the Dolphins laterals. You think back to the Ronnie Brown game, everybody thinking the Wildcat offense would take over the National Football League. So this is so tough, but I guess I'm going to go with the Patriots, man. I feel like the Dolphins are just a mess. We talk about Daboll, dead man walking. Feels like it's the same with McDaniel. The Patriots aren't great, but I think Mike Vrabel, even though I don't think he's that great of a coach, I think he's a better coach than Mike McDaniel. And the team, I think, is more together. I think the Dolphins are divided because of McDaniel and Tyreek Hill. So all that being said, I think this is an under game. Give me the Pats plus 1.5. I'll say they win. I think this is an ugly game. 21-10. So we'll go Patriots in the under there. And then next game, talk about an ugly game. Saints 49ers. Spencer Rattler, Mac Jones at the Caesars Superdome there in New Orleans. We mentioned we took the Niners minus 3.5. The total set at 40.5. I think it goes under, honestly. Mac Jones, Spencer Rattler, Saleh coaching the defense there for the 49ers. But I think Rattler is rattled early. Saints get nothing going on offense. I think the Niners with Mac Jones, probably try to just eat up clock, running the football with McCaffrey, with Brian Robinson, get Garendo in there. I think the Niners end up winning 20-3. So give me the Niners and the under. Bills, Jets at MetLife. Bills, 6.5-point road favorites. Obviously, we remember a couple years ago, Jets, Gibson, who they just cut, the walk-off touchdown after Rodgers tore his Achilles. And Jets, obviously, offense looked great. First time since 91 that did not punt the football in the first half last week. So Fields looked good. It's unfortunate because it feels like good vibes. It feels like it's the opposite of what's going on across the stadium there for the Giants right now anyway. But I think it is 0-2, unfortunately. And I think the Bills do just cover. But being what we saw out of both of these defenses week 1, I think this is an over game. But I think the Bills will win, let's say, 27-20. So just on that over. But it's the Bills, and it's the over, and it's the Steelers, and it's the Seahawks. And this is a Super Bowl rematch. What was it? 2005. Matt Hasselbeck, Ben Roethlisberger. I believe at that time, Roethlisberger had the lowest quarterback rating to win a Super Bowl. The Bus playing a big one in that one. His final game, retiring in his home state of Detroit, or home state of Michigan, excuse me. Obviously, that was way back when. That was, 20 years ago. Now it's Aaron Rodgers, who I believe that year was drafted. So thinking about the longevity of Aaron Rodgers. But anyway, Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold. Definitely do not like the Seahawks in this one. I know the Steelers give up a lot of points to the Jets, but I think Darnold rattled here. And I think the Seahawks, feel good. Mike McDonald don't make the playoffs, but he sets the wins for the most by a first-year head coach. But I think the Steelers here, I think they run the ball effectively, get the rookie involved more on the ground, Johnson, and then maybe, some Jalen Warren mixed in there as well. Rodgers with a couple more touchdowns. But I'll say Steelers win this one 21-13. So give me the Steelers here and 21-13. So that will be the under 39.5. So didn't go under last week with that low total with the Steelers. Let's see if it does this week. Moving along here, Baltimore looking to bounce back the debacle on Sunday Night Football. Derrick Henry looking to get past that fumble that ended up resulting in a Bills come from behind victory. Henry was great last game, 18 carries, 169 yards. Browns almost beat the Bengals last week. But I think this will be the Baltimore beatdown. And I know 11.5, divisional game. Joe Flacco, homecoming there where he won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. But I think the Ravens run all over the Browns. I think they run for literally 300 yards on the ground and absolutely dismantle this Browns team 49-14. So give me the Ravens covering the total by themselves. So Ravens and the over. And we go to Indianapolis, the Broncos, the Colts. Obviously, our pick here is Denver, so we will go with that. Only 1.5 point spread, so you don't need too much. I think Bo Nix will look better than he did this past week. And I think they get Harvey going on the ground as well. And then try to find Cortland Sutton in space. So I think this is an under game, but I think the Broncos win it easily on the road. Let's say 30-10. So that'll be Denver and the under. So moving along here, Panthers-Cardinals. This is another 4:05 game here on CBS. State Farm Stadium, Glendale, Arizona. The Cardinals, -6.5. Won their game, I think, what was it, versus No. Who were they playing last week, actually? I kind of want to look it up. But anyway, they're 6.5 point favorites. 44.5 is the number. It was the Saints, right? Yeah, they won 20-13. So that one was probably closer than you anticipated. This one, maybe more of the same. I mean, I know Bryce Young didn't look great last week, but neither did Kyler Murray. I mean, he threw for 163 and 2 scores. At least he did find Marvin Harrison Jr. We talked about them, increasing their chemistry this year. And Benson did run for 69 on the ground. Kind of a fantasy sleeper. I have him in one of my leagues, spelling Jimmy Connor. But I'll say the Cardinals winning cover. Let's go 24-10. So that'll be the Cards and the under. Eagles-Chiefs rematch of the Super Bowl this past season. The Chiefs got beat down in that one. This is so tough because the Eagles, after what we saw that game, I know the teams are different, but they really took it to the Chiefs. So I guess what I'll say here is Mahomes back against the wall would be the first 0-2 start in the Reid-Mahomes era. But at home, Arrowhead, good weather, fans will be into it. I know they're dealing with that Xavier Worthy injury. But I think the Chiefs win. I think it's a shootout. It's a close game, but Harrison Butker from 56 for the win, 31-28. Tom Brady, Kevin Burkhardt on the call for this one, game of the week. But it's going to be the Chiefs, and it's going to be the over. And the last game of the night, because we'll save the doubleheader on Monday for Monday's show, Falcons, Vikings, Penix, McCarthy, Raheem Morris up against Kevin O'Connell. And that's the key right there, Kevin O'Connell. I think the better coach, probably the better team, even though I do feel like, the Falcons are up and coming. It's just unfortunate quirks of the schedule. So I will say close game, and I think a shootout. I think this will be a shootout as well. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be the Minnesota Vikings winning this one 35-31. So we're going to go Vikings and the over. And just like that, that is your NFL Week 2 frenzy here. So a lot of games ahead of us. It's going to be a big Sunday. Can't wait to just watch all the games and digest all of this. This is going to be great. Any, I don't know, juice for you, Michael, or optimism with the Jets and Bills, or does it feel like a tall task going up against Josh Allen?
I don't know. I could see it happening.
Yeah. I mean, we've done it before. We've played them well. Yeah.
Especially with this team.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, we'll have to see what happens, but obviously the red zone will get us covered. Hansen, despite the commercial fiasco, will definitely hold it down. And I do also see on here Donna Lee saying, happy Friday, go Yankees. So Donna Lee,
yes.
Jacked up.
Hey, Donna.
And we love having her here, of course. And then Ernie says, had to come back. The chat was getting ridiculous. I
wonder what's going on.
So I actually don't know. I mean, I don't think he's talking about the TCH, not the Twitter, but I can't. I don't know, for whatever reason. I don't know if I was getting too riled last night and like they put some blocker on me, but for some reason I can't send any messages in that chat, and I'm not getting any. So I don't know what that's all about. Maybe I'll try restarting the phone. But it was kind of funny, Michael. Like I was kind of just last night kind of like getting riled. And like, just because I feel like everybody takes it so seriously. And I think we kind of talked about this the other day, but like the list, the rankings. So I was kind of just like joking around saying that like Jordan Love is like a top 3 quarterback. And it was like, which I mean, maybe it's not that far off. It's a little far off though, because he's not. But I was just like kidding around, and they just like take it so seriously, like it's so definitive. It's just kind of funny because it's like, I mean, listen, I mean, it's like, it's all an opinion thing. There's no right. There's no wrong. Sure. A guy wins the Super Bowl, you feel like, okay, well that justifies where you have him on your rankings. But regardless, it's like the Packers are good. And I don't know why. I don't know. I guess Ernie's getting a hard time of it in the chat. It's like, I mean, they're definitely, I think, like I said before, Ernie, I think they're the best team in the NFC. So I'll be interested to see what everybody's saying once that gets back up, on my screen. But yeah, going to be a great NFL Sunday. But let's switch gears here and go to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it. Yep. Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So Michael K. Yankees win. Saying that a couple times last night. Not only the Yankees win, but Aaron Judge not hitting 1 but 2 home runs last night. Tying Joe DiMaggio, so standing tied 4th place on the Yankee all-time home run list. Absolutely unbelievable. So you love to see that. That's for sure. Or 3rd place actually. I think anyway. I'm getting messed up here. Let me just actually check this out for a second, because obviously it's Ruth and Garrick. Oh, but Mickey Mantle, it is 4th. Okay, gotcha. So
pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, it is crazy that he's we've seen his whole career. And that he's with those guys in a list that, I mentioned this the other day, hadn't changed since 1957. So yeah, it's Ruth at 659, Mantle at 536, Lou at 493, and then you got Aaron Judge there. So that is what 360? I just want to see the exact number here. So that is home run number. So that was 46 last year. Yeah, 361. So he's hit 361 in 1,129 games. So obviously, just an absolute treat to watch anytime you're watching a Yankee game. Aaron Judge, you never know what he's going to do. But looking at the synopsis of this game, a 9-3 victory here. And it really felt like, even though, yes, the Tigers did tie the game in the second inning, that the Yankees, for the most part, really controlled this game. Cam Schlittler really rebounding from that debacle last start. 6 innings, so the third straight Yankee starter with a quality start here. 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. So season ERA down to 3.05, picking up his third victory of the season. The 24-year-old. And it was interesting. I was talking to Corey yesterday, and he had him this year at AA for a little bit, and he was just saying, great guy. Really kind of shot through the ranks, came out of nowhere. All of a sudden in AAA, his velocity goes up a couple miles an hour, and here he is pitching important games for the Yankees. So that's a great story, and the nice part about him going 6, the Yankees hitting the ball well, is that Yarborough pitched the final 3 innings to get a save and to save the bullpen, which we know at Fenway Park this weekend we are going to need a lot of. And we need that bullpen to be, on point, but at least we know it'll be rested. But that being said, just looking at the summary of the offense here, Judge, first inning, homering to center, 413 feet. Dingler does single in a run there in the second to tie the game at 1. But Ben Rice, who's had a tremendous year, and I feel like the numbers for Ben Rice don't even do it justice. How good of a season he's had. He's had a lot of tough luck outs. You look at the numbers here: 240, 23 homers, 55 RBIs with an 802 OPS. But I'm telling you, this guy is a star. I was telling JD earlier in the year, Ben Rice next year, I guarantee, will be an all-star. Interesting to see, is he catching? Is he first base? I kind of think it'll be first base as long as Austin Wells continues to hit. He didn't play last night with the left-handed pitcher on the mound. But so Rice doubling in there. So 2-1 Yankees. Caballero starting at shortstop, singling to right, scoring Rice. So back-to-back games here. Caballero starting, making an impact. Looking really smooth, playing shortstop. So just one of those things where it took so long. Finally, we've arrived at the conclusion. At least he's going to play more. I don't know if he'll be the starter. Interesting thing, though, they announced this yesterday, and I was talking to Josh about this. But, the Volpe since May, torn labrum or partial tear, whatever. But it's like, why would you play him this whole time? Why wouldn't you heal it? You were even saying it before the show, Michael. It's like, he could be healed by now. Like, what are you doing? I just, the injury stuff, I just don't get, other than they just think they're smarter than everybody, I guess. But how is that smart? I don't know. But it's like, geez, if he's injured, he's not performing, he shouldn't play the rest of the season. And it's like, that would be great, but it just feels like a pipe dream. It feels like he's going to be starting tonight. But at least, you feel good when Caballero is playing short. He's hitting, he's stealing bases, he's playing good defense. So you love that. So that made it 3-1. Judge homering again in the third to make it 4-1. And then Giancarlo Stanton. So the Judge-Stanton home run combination in a game. We know the Yankees' track record there. So Stanton with his 20th home run of the season, thinking of all the time that he missed, coming back after Memorial Day. It really is tremendous, that he's been able to produce at such a high level. And he was going through it like a 3 for 34, but good to see him hit that home run. And you just want to see the plate discipline get a little better. I was talking to Corey last night too. Just, it feels like, there's a lot of at-bats with him, with Grisham, where, they're guessing too much and they're letting fastballs go down the middle, and then they're behind in the count, and then they're chasing the off-speed low and away. So just Stanton, when he's locked in, he doesn't chase that pitch, and then he gets stuff over the middle, and he doesn't miss it, and he didn't miss it there. So 429 feet, 5-1 Yankees. Austin Slater starting and batting leadoff last night, singling to right, scoring Ben Rice. So that made it 6-1 Yankees. Bellinger with a single to make it 7-1 Jazz. 2-run single, 9-1. All the offense the Yankees needed. Yarborough does give up a dingler solo shot. I think first battery face in the 7th. Make it 9-2. Glaber, decent series coming back home. Obviously was riled for his good hand there. RBI ground out there, 9-3. That was the final. It was just a must-needed win, because the Blue Jays had won earlier in the day. Red Sox were off, so you pick up a half game there. And it's the Yankees' 81st victory of the season, 44-31 in the Bronx this year. And listen, we're in the midst of that tough stretch, that tough 12-game stretch. Yankees are 5-4. So we talked about it. 8-4 would be nice. Obviously, they would have to sweep Boston, so I'm not exactly expecting that. But a 2 out of 3, a 7-5, and then a soft schedule to finish out. You just like the way that they're positioned right now. It's all about one game at a time, and just keep it going. And that's definitely what you hope the Yankees do here. So that was a great win last night. But this series, is just so important. Because right now you're a half game up on Boston. You're 81-65. They're 81-66. And they do have the tiebreaker from you as well, so you need to finish ahead of them. And, if you don't win the division, you're still 3 back because of the win yesterday. So you have to play them in the wild card series because most likely those two teams will be 1 and 2 in some order. And you definitely want that game at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees against the Red Sox at Fenway Park just has not been fun. Speaking of that, that's what we're going to get this weekend, and you just have to rise up to the occasion. And I was telling Josh before, listen, they've played terrible against the Red Sox, but at the end of the day, you could just win, and that's what the Yankees need to do here. And you look at the pitching matchups for this weekend. Luis Gil on the mound here versus Lucas Giolito. So that's a 7:10 start on Apple TV Plus tonight. I know how everybody loves that. 4:10 tomorrow, MLB Network, Fried versus Bayo. And then Will Warren, Garrett Crochet, the final Yankees-Red Sox game, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. We know NBC most likely taking over that endeavor next year. So, it's not going to be easy. Bayo and Crochet specifically has pitched well against the Yankees. I know they had that one game that I was actually at where we did hit him around, but he also had that impressive 1-run, 8-inning performance at Fenway Park earlier this year when we got swept. So we're going to need to step up. And I think the key is, just like it was last night, getting the offense early, spacing out over a couple innings, not all at one time, because it feels like they score a bunch of runs, then they don't the rest of the game, and then the bullpen just kind of slowly bleeds out, and we can't have that. We need Gil, to give us 6. If Gil could give us 6 strong of 2 earned run ball, I think we can score 4 or 5 runs against Giolito and that bullpen, and then the rest should take care of itself. So that's the goal here. Take 2 out of 3. And then, you look at what Toronto, is going to have this weekend. I've just seen because they were just playing Houston. Let's just see where they are now. So the Blue Jays are hosting the Orioles. So, they could easily sweep the Orioles at home. They've been great, 47-25. Orioles 33-39 on the road. You just you hope that the Orioles maybe could squeak out a game or 2, and that you take 2 out of 3 from Boston. That's for sure. And then just kind of doing our annual look around the league with the scores from yesterday. Orioles win again, 3-2 over the Pirates. You saw the White Sox beat the Rays. That was a surprise. They won those last 2 games. Shane Smith has pitched well for the White Sox. So 5-1 White Sox there. Mentioned the Blue Jays winning. Kevin Gausman was lights out. 2 hits for the Astros yesterday. So they don't do us any favors per usual as the Blue Jays win 6-0. The Marlins 5-0 over the Nationals. Ryan Weathers picking up his 2nd victory of the season. So the Marlins definitely an up and down year, 68-79, but a good win yesterday. The Guardians win again, 3-2 over the Royals. Those have been tight, contested games. Cade Smith coming in there for his 13th save, taking over for Clase. And we'll take a look at the wild card standings in a second, but those are important. The Mets, 4 runs in the first, don't score the rest of the game. I know there were some stats somebody said in the TCA chat earlier. But 4-game sweep. That's a tough one. And then you look at those at bats, and I think it was Soto, Alonso, Vientos. I saw the highlights this morning, and it's like just off speed in the dirt, and Duran striking out the side. So that was a tough one. And to let Luzardo hone in after giving up 4 runs in the first, striking out 10, going 7, that was surprising to see. So Phillies, I think 11-game lead now in the NL East. The Mariners walk it off against the Angels 7-6. So the Mariners now tied with Houston for the AL West. That'll be interesting. Houston, all this time we're thinking they're going to win that division. Mariners could still win it, which is kind of crazy. So, and then the Padres win, which we expected, but only 2-0 over the Rockies. Not a lot of offense between the both teams. Only 2 combined runs, 10 hits. But Randy Vasquez pitching well for San Diego in this one. The former Yankee, 6 shutout innings, struck out 9. Only 4 hits allowed, no walks. And then you saw Jackson Merrill back from the injured list now, his 11th home run. So Padres are 80-67. And we'll take a look, because I was just looking, obviously, at the Yankees situation with the standings. But if we look at what the other teams, are dealing with here in terms of that wild card. So, the Yankees and the Red Sox here, 2.5 games. The Yankees are 2.5 games ahead of, it looks like, the 3rd wild card spot. The Boston Red Sox are 2 games up, so they're in second. So right now, obviously, season ended. Yankees host Red Sox best of 3. Astros now, I guess Seattle has the tiebreaker there, so the Astros are now in that 3rd wild card position. But the Rangers are 2 back. The Guardians are 3.5 back. Royals fading a little bit, now 5 back, and same thing with the Rays. They are now 6.5 back. But Texas has been on fire, 4 straight wins. They've been almost unbeatable at home, especially of recent. But 47-28, just a solid mark for the season. Jacob deGrom pitching well for the Rangers, and they've really stepped up their play here recently. Guardians have been playing well as in addition to that, 7 out of 10. So they're in it, and the Royals kind of fading, but going to be interesting. Those 3 teams vying for that last wild card spot, assuming the Yankees and the Red Sox hold on to those spots, or maybe it'll be different. Maybe one of the teams will come back, win that division, and then the Blue Jays will be in the wild card. So much stuff to determine there. National League wild card: Cubs stranglehold 7.5 up. On the 3rd wild card spot. The Padres are 4 up in second, so those 2 teams would square off in the Windy City if the season ended today. The Mets, though, virtue of 6 straight losses here, only a 1.5 lead on both the Giants and the Reds. Both of those teams have been playing well. The Giants have won 7 out of 10. The Reds are 6-4 in their last 10. And then the Diamondbacks are only 3 back. The Cardinals are 4. That's probably a little more of a stretch with the Marlins 8. So, going to be interesting. Who's going to take that 3rd wild card spot? It seemed like a foregone conclusion that the Mets would, but now obviously that doesn't appear to be the case. So what's going to happen this weekend? Going to be interesting for sure. And we take a look at the matchups, and like we said, huge series for the Yankees. I mean, everything on the line, and it's just like you've felt at times, embarrassed by both the Blue Jays, and not even at times. I mean, really let's face it, the majority of the season. I'm trying to think Yankees record against the Blue Jays this year. Maybe it was 5-8. Against Boston, 2-8. So, no matter how you do this weekend, it's still not going to be good, but it can give you some positive feel with possibly a playoff matchup on the horizon to really just impose your will. So, just all the negatives that we've heard from, fellow fans this year and the media and everybody just like really praying for the Yankee downfall. Yankees are right here, and it's just all about executing. So, it's going to be nice to really build up some confidence, get in some hot streaks, against those bad teams in those 13 games post the Red Sox series. But start with a win tonight. Just feel like you're in this series. A win tonight, okay. Take one of the next 2, we win this series. So you got to do that. And I was telling Josh before, Cora kind of poking the bear before that Sunday Night Baseball game a few weeks back when he said, the last couple of years, Yankee Stadium has been very comfortable. We've done very well there. So I was saying, that's something that players don't forget, and you hope that drives them. And they know they can win this division. But you're going to have to take 2 out of 3. That's it. And you hope you get some help from the Orioles this weekend. But we'll see. And obviously a full slate tonight with the weekend series starting up. So Michael, if you could strike up the music, another MLB pick segment. And this one, is brought to you by the Hirsch Law Firm. So we have an afternoon game in the Windy City between the Cubs and the Rays, and Shane Buys on the hill for the Rays, 9-11, 4.94. Matt Boyd, one of the more underrated and just not heard of seasons this year, 12-8 with an ERA sub 3 at 2.92. But I would say the Rays not impressing me. Losing that series to the White Sox, losing those last 2 games. The Cubs, I would say. I think they'll handle this easily. I think Boyd will be dominant. They only need to score a couple runs to win this game. I think they do just that. Let's say they win 4-1. So give me the Cubs and the under there. You got the Phillies and the Royals. You got Walker Buehler starting for the Phillies. He was a pitching machine for the Boston Red Sox this year. What's he going to do against the Kansas City Royals? Michael Lorenzen on the hill for them. So Phillies are hot, Royals are not. I mean, that's really what it is right now. Royals 4 under on the road. Phillies 16 over at home. Already 87 wins for the Philadelphia Phillies. So, despite that you have Walker Buehler on the hill, I think this offense carries the Phillies to victory. I'm going to say 10-5 here. So this is a run-scoring bonanza. Definitely hammer the over. Phillies and the over, and we go to Nationals Park in D.C. The Nationals Pirates, Lord versus Keller. Both teams minus 110. But I don't know. It's hard for me to pick the Pirates when they're not at home and Paul Skeens isn't on the hill. So give me the Nationals. Give me the under. I'll say they'll win 3-2. Nationals and the under, and the Blue Jays and the Orioles, and it's Trevor Rogers and it's Chris Bassett. So that is I guess you could say shining light, whatever you want to call it. But Rogers 8-2, 1.51. Bassett ERA near 4. I think we hit him pretty well last time he pitched against us. So give me the Orioles. Why not? I think Rogers 7 strong, only 2 earned. Gunnar Henderson 5th inning grand slam, knocking Bassett out of the game. I'll say the over as well, but the Orioles are live here at plus 115. Give me the Orioles winning 6-5. So we'll say the Orioles and the over, and we go to Progressive Field, Cleveland, Ohio. The Guardians hosting the White Sox. Tanner Bybee, 9-11, 4.69 earned run average, going up against Martin Perez, 1-4, 3.15. Guardians have been hot. So despite, I know, the White Sox winning those games against the Royals, I think the Guardians win. I think Bybee finally had a good start last time after having 5 or 6 bad ones in a row. I know because I have him for fantasy. Continues that weak opponent. But Perez probably holds his own, so probably low-scoring game, so another under. But give me the Guardians winning 3-1. So Guardians under there. The Tigers are in Miami at Lone Depot Park. Tariq Skubal going up against Sandy Alcantara, who's pitched well after having a terrible season, but has kind of honed it in a little bit post-deadline. So I'm going to say give me the Tigers. Skubal, and I think their offense, despite last night not looking great, looked great in the previous 2 games. So wouldn't be surprised if Alcantara goes back to his ways earlier this year. So give me the Tigers winning this one. I'm going to say 7-1. So we'll say the Tigers and the over there. And we go to Fenway Park and Apple TV Plus. And we have Luis Gil and Lucas Giolito. Giolito has actually pitched well, 10-3, 3.38. But Luis Gil, since coming back from injury, missed a lot of this season. 3-1, 3.31. 1 bad start in Miami. Other than that, he's been great. So I think he hones it in. I know Fenway Park is a tough place to pitch, being the road team. But I think he does. 6 innings, 2 earned, 6 strikeouts. And I think Giancarlo Stanton, he likes sitting in Fenway. I think he sends not 1 but 2 over the monster, propelling the Yankees. It's going to be close. It's going to be like, a high-scoring game like the old Yankee Red Sox days. I think the Yankees, though, hold on. David Bednar, a bases-loaded strikeout to end the game. Yankees win 7-6. The Yankees and the over, and the Mets looking to avoid 7 in a row. And what do you know? The prodigal son returns. Jacob deGrom back at Citi Field, 11-7, 278. Jonah Tong, 1-1, 409. And I hate to do this to Tony, but I think it does go to 7. I think deGrom, the nostalgia of pitching again at Citi Field, I'm going to say complete game shutout. And I'm going to say he strikes out 9, and the Rangers win 3-0. So Rangers and the under, and the Astros and the Braves at Truist Park. Waldrop versus Murray. Not exactly Tyson and Foreman here. But I'm going to say the Astros, who have not been playing well, but a weak opponent. I think their offense can feast on the weak Brave pitching. Yordan Alvarez, not 1 but 2 homers, 6 RBIs. Astros 10-4 over the Braves, up and out. Astros in the over, and the Twins and the Diamondbacks in Target Field, and Minnesota road favorites here, -135. Pablo Lopez, who's missed a lot of the year with an injury, pitching against Brandon Pfaadt, who is a guy that I always thought was a little overrated, almost like a Frankie Montas, where it's just like, okay, there's a lot of hype, but where are the results? Lopez far better. I think the Twins win this one. I'm going to say 5-1. So give me the Twins and the under there. And we go to American Family Field, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Priester versus Palante. I think the Brewers smoke them, honestly. The Cards, I know they're kind of in there in the wild card. I think they're not a good team. So I would say give me the Brewers. We'll say 8-3. So Brewers over there. Padres, Rockies. Light scoring game there yesterday. I think we get some more offense for the Pods today. JP Sears struggling this year, 8-10, 501, but I think he has a good start here at home. Petco Park, weak opponent in the Rockies. So Sears, 6 shutout innings, 6 strikeouts. And I think Manny Machado has a big game as well. A couple dingers for Machado. So we're doing a lot of double dingers here on a Friday. But give me the Padres winning, let's say 9-2. So the Padres over there. 3 games left. A's, Reds. JT Ginn, Brady Singer there in Sacramento. Hammer the over. Balls just fly out of that park, and Singer sometimes gets popped, as does Ginn with his ERA near 5. But I'll say, give me the Reds, 10-9 there in Sacramento. Mariners hosting the Angels. Trout sitting on 399. I think he gets number 400 tonight, but Luis Castillo has other ideas in terms of a victory. 7 innings, a 2-run ball. Cal Raleigh, 5th inning granny. And I think the Mariners win 5-1. Mariners in the under. Last game, classic game. Giants hosting the Dodgers. Verlander, Yamamoto. Kind of interesting. Dodgers have been a little Jekyll and Hyde this year. But I think Verlander honestly gets hammered. I know he's kind of honed it in recently, but just, you could tell. I mean, he's got to retire. I mean, it is what it is. So I think Dodgers kind of knock him around, and they win, I don't know, 7-3. So give me the Dodgers and the over, and just like that, that's your MLB pick segment. So a big weekend there at Fenway Park, and hoping the Yankees get the job done. But we know what time it is. We got to get the grid up, Michael. And we do have a good one here. No local feel, so a little bit more challenging. Could use some assistance if the Swami happens to be around. But we'll start with what we know, and what we know is that on the top left of this grid, we're going to go with Miguel Tejada. So that'll be Giants and the Royals there. If you could just plug that in, Michael. And then after that,
what a throwback name, huh?
Yeah, dude. I used to love his batting stance, bro. Like, you know, like he just had almost like a Sheffield kind of.
Exactly.
But I just thought the way he hits home runs, it was so smooth. But anyway, Underneath him, so middle left here, Wade Davis. So the former World Series champion closer for the Royals, Wade Davis there, all-star in his own right as well. All right, so 6%, not too shabby. I'll go with the popular one as far as I'm concerned for me. So right underneath him, so bottom left here, Michael Wacha.
Oops.
Nice. All right, and then right next to him, so bottom middle there, Nestor Cortez. There we go. What do we got? 2%. All right, and then right next to him, Roberto Alomar.
Another throwback.
Yeah. All right, 2% as well. All right, so moving it along here, let's see. So, I would say for Cubs Hall of Famers, so middle right, let's go with Greg Maddux. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, that one. There we go, 8%. All right, so we got 3 left, and just take a look here, hoping for some type of suggestion, because like I know these, but I don't want it to be like too high. I'm just trying to think. Giants, Brewers, so not Kent, just like relievers, starters, not Sexton, not Sandoval, Adames and McCutcheon feel like they're gonna be too high. Giants Hall of Fame, Mays and McCovey, or Brewers Cubs. Not Sexton. Branyan, did Russell Branyan play for the Cubs? Almost thinking that's the one. But I just am not positive if he played for the Cubs. Kind of interesting. He had a couple. His career was kind of, I guess you could say underwhelming, but he did have a couple big years. But I'm just trying to think if he played for the Cubs. 'Cause I know that he played for the Brewers. But maybe he didn't play for the Cubs. Chicago, no. Can't believe like the Swami is just retired.
Maybe he's working.
Could be, yeah. And then for the Hall of Fame, for the Giants, McCovey, Marsh. I feel like Marshall is he higher. Verlander's not in. Other guys who have played for the Giants at the end. I feel like they didn't get. Like Barry Bonds obviously didn't make it. Kent, I don't think he's in. Is Rob Nen a Hall of Famer? Almost thinking that might be the best one. Because I feel like Juan Marichal is gonna be way too high. Let's see. For something tells me though that Nen isn't in. Just because closers, I don't know, they're kind of weird with that type of stuff. In terms of like you don't have too many in. I know obviously Lee Smith and Mariano Rivera. Posey isn't in. And it's like Bobby Bonds isn't in. All right. Well, I guess top right. Just go Willie McCovey. It's gonna be high, but what are we gonna do? Yeah, there you go. 15. All right. So Brewers, Giants. I don't think. Scroll up a little. I don't get what he means there.
Maybe because it's cut off.
But it. Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, I gotta just lock in and do this. All right, so Brewers and the Cubs. Just trying to think besides Aramis Ramirez. Brewers, Cubs. Not Segura. I'm trying to think of any closers. Let's see. Maybe. Oh, okay. You know what? All right. Brewers, Cubs, so middle. Jeremy Burnitz, former Met. It's spelled differently, but if you want to just search by his last name, it's Burnitz. There you go. 3%. Okay. And then, okay. So besides McCutcheon, come on, Giants, Adames. I don't know if he's going to be lower. See if maybe Josh B has an answer here. Doesn't seem like it. All right. Let's see. So Giants. What is that, right? Okay. All right. Do Jake McGee. What did we end up getting? 40? All right. We'll take it. And then, yeah, let's continue the tradition. Get the football grid up. We've been getting a little better on these. Interesting, made a field goal. Okay. I have always liked kickers, so that's actually a good column for me. Okay, so the Lions. And then you got the Cards. I'm just trying to think about. Okay. So for the Cards, so bottom right, do Chandler Catanzaro. There we go. 5%. All right. And then the Lions making a field goal. I'm trying to think. Is it Matthew Wright? I think is his name. Because I know they've had a couple kickers, and I feel like Prater, Josh B had a long-ass meeting. Listen, Josh, it's all right. Corporate America. It's Friday, though. All right, and then the Bills. Think about. Oh well, yeah. Okay, so actually go for top right. Go Matt Prater, because he just kicked one last week. That should be low. What? Off one? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the Lions. I'm trying to. Yeah. So do Jason Hansen. That's gonna be so high, but whatever. 16%. All right. Okay. So the Bills and the Broncos. You got the Cards and the Broncos. Hopkins didn't play there. The Falcons and the Bills. Falcons and the Lions. Falcons. The Cards? I'm trying to think. The Cardinals. Hollywood Brown. John Brown. Boy, I feel like this is kind of a tough one. Okay. Broncos, Bills. Do Travis Henry. So top left. %. All right. Solid. Okay, so for the Lions, Prater would have been a good one for that. Lions. Okay. Trying to think of other running backs. Jamal Williams was not on the Broncos. Let's see, and then the Cardinals. Okay, Bills, Broncos. Is that the one we just did? Damn it. Of course, the one that we got from Josh B is the one that we already did. All right, so Falcons, Bills. Okay, Peerless Price. Talk about a throwback. So top middle, Michael. So P-E, I think it's P-E-E. Or you could just search Price and it'll come up too. Yeah. You think it like hurt us, and that's why that came up?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how that works?
So weird.
All right. So 4 left here. I guess you could say a quad box is left here. Come on, Josh. I feel like you got another 1 or 2 in you here. Don't make me sweat this out. Okay. Cards, Broncos, Garrison Hurst. So Cards, Broncos. So right there. Yep.
Who?
Garrison Hurst. Talk about a throwback. No. It's spelled differently. So just search Garrison. Garrison. There we go. Nice, Josh. And 1%.
He had another one too.
Or was that the other one?
Kyle Orton.
No, yep, that was it. All right, 3 more. We're almost there. Okay, so did Joey I feel like Joey Harrington played for the Falcons. Go Joey Harrington.
Middle?
Yeah. How about that? But 25%. All right, so Falcons. I think this. This has got to be John Abraham, right? The former Jet. You remember John Abraham or no?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
He's great.
Right there. Let's do it.
Which one here?
Yep. 7%. Okay, so Lions and the Broncos. I feel like the Broncos have had so many different running backs. There's got to be one that played, not Portis, or even quarterbacks. The Lions have had a lot of quarterbacks. Yeah, Josh was relevant for Abraham. Okay, we got this. Last one, got to do it. All right, so Lions, cornerback, defensive end, kicker, punter, Raj. I think might be a tough one. All right, so. Oh, okay. Do Dre Bly. No E. No Y. Excuse me. Yep, right there. That is actually probably our lowest football score of the week, Michael. 103.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, that's awesome. Let's go. All right, so just a couple more things here. Bridgewater was a good one. But thanks for the help, Josh. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Getting your release from corporate America, that's for sure. All right, so we'll do a quick leaderboard update here in Napa. Let's just take a look at that real quick, and then just take a quick peek at the college football before we get out of here. All right, so right now, and I think they just got underway for the second round, your leader from yesterday, Mackenzie Hughes, he has an afternoon tea time. He was 9 under par. Russell Heenley, 8 under, 1 back, 1 under through 2 starting on the back. McCarthy and Griffin at 8 under. Ben Griffin. Lanto Griffin, 1 behind him at 7 under. Alberson at 6 under. JJ Spawn, 5 under yesterday. He's even today through 2. Taylor Montgomery is 5 under. Michael Thorbjornsen, 4 under. Scotty Scheffler was 2 under yesterday. He's 2 under today, only through 3 holes, so he has a chance to move up the leaderboard. Matt Kuchar, 4 under. My pick, Sahith Theegala, 4 under. Ashke Bahatia is 4 under as well. And then let's see, Maverick McNeely, 3 under. 23rd can't come soon enough. Me and Josh golf tournament. He's
Let's
fired
go.
up. Yeah, can't wait for that, Josh. And then let's see here. I guess that's really the notables. Gary Woodland's 1 under par. The cut right now is 1 under. We'll see how it moves throughout the weekend. Colin Morikawa and Patrick Cantley, 2 guys on the Ryder Cup. They're outside the cut right now at even. But both just got underway, so we'll see if they can play their way into the weekend, as is Cam Young, who tees off, or I guess is just teeing off now. Justin Thomas, another one. So all these Ryder Cup guys coming over here to play, and not all of them potentially are going to make the cut, which is interesting. Dog of the day yesterday, Ryan Moore, 9 over par. All right, so that's it for the golf. And then lastly, the college football. Just taking a look at the slate. I know NC State, I think they came back and won against Wake Forest. I know no one was watching that. Won last night, the standalone college football game, given the NFL game, and of course, the Yankees. Okay, so Friday night tonight, I mean, ranked team in action, Indiana versus Indiana State, 46.5-point spread there. So that's a joke. Houston, Colorado is not bad. Houston is -4.5. Colorado 1-1. First year post Shador over there in Boulder. This one is on the road in Houston, but Houston is a 4.5-point favorite. Yeah, it seems like Colorado might have some tough sledding. It smells like a 6-6 there. And then Kansas State, Arizona, and New Mexico, UCLA. And NC State, yes, ends up winning 34-24 last night. And then the big games tomorrow. Number 4 Oregon at Northwestern, 27.5-point favorite. No problem there. Clemson, number 12, -2.5. Would not be surprised. It just feels like this is a road game. Georgia Tech. Like if Lee Corso was here, he would say not so fast. I kind of like that as an upset. I think there's a reason Clemson's only -2.5 there. So give me Tech upsetting there. 51.5. I think the under. Wisconsin, Alabama. Alabama 20.5-point favorites there at home. I think they win. The much maligned Kalen DeBoer. But I want to say that's a closer game. So I like Wisconsin with the points there. Michigan 28.5-point favorites over Central Michigan. Bryce Underwood has been kind of underwhelming so far. Obviously, they lose last week to Oklahoma. I think they bounce back with a win, possibly not cover that 28.5-point spread. And then what else we got here? Auburn is a 24.5-point favorite over South Alabama. Missouri, 27.5-point favorite over Louisiana. UConn's playing Delaware and is a 7.5-point favorite there as they look to go to 2-1. Penn State against Villanova. So the number 2 team in the country is playing an FCS program this week. Just an absolute buzzkill at Beaver Stadium. There's not even a spread listed because they're probably going to win by 100. Georgia, Tennessee is good game days there. So Georgia right now, 3.5-point favorites. That's interesting. But I'll go with Kirby and the Dogs. Maybe they don't cover. Maybe it's a 3-point win. And the under 50.5. Yeah, I could see it like, I don't know, 24-21. Texas Tech, 23.5-point favorite over Oregon State. USC Purdue in Indiana. USC, though, a 20.5-point road favorite. As Lincoln Riley looks to go to 3-0. I think they take care of business there. And let's see, as we move along, any other ranked matchups here. Iowa State, 21.5-point over Arkansas State. Texas, 40.5-point favorite at home versus UTEP. Obviously rebounded last week with their win over San Jose State. These matchups sometimes are a waste of time. Miami, South Florida, that's a good one. You got number 5 versus number 18. I think JD's very big on like that. Miami's not that good. I know he had a video the other day. But Carson Beck, South Florida with the upset of Florida last week. So that I would do a Corso not so fast. I think Miami wins but doesn't cover. 17.5 is too rich. But I think they win like 31-24. So we'll go, Miami there. And that's actually just on the under. And then what else we got? Ohio State versus Ohio, 30.5. I mean, I think they'll cover that at the Horseshoe. 3 straight home games for the Buckeyes to start the season. Ole Miss, Arkansas. Ole Miss 6.5-point favorites. I think they Lane and the boys get the job done there. Simmons, I'm impressed with. So yeah, I like them to cover. 62.5 though is rich. So I would say Ole Miss and the under there. Texas. Actually, Florida, LSU. So Billy Napier back against the wall. LSU with Nussmeier, a lot of hype there. Yeah, I think LSU. Brian Kelly finally winning a big game, right? It seems like he always loses them. 7.5 though might be too rich. To me, this smells like 20-17. So we'll say LSU under there. Texas A&M and Notre Dame. That's a classic. It was a good game last year. Notre Dame needs to win this. They can't go 0-2. Probably be out of the college football playoff with a loss. So I'll say the Fighting Irish will win this game. 6.5 though, again, too rich. I think this is, I don't know, 31-28, and look for Carr to play better. Reed with 7 touchdowns already. But yeah, give me the Irish there. And I think that's the over. And let's just see if there's anything else. It seems like we're kind of winding down the schedule here. Utah, Wyoming. Utah 23.5-point favorite. Stop it. And let's see, Stanford, BC. No, that's not really a good one. And yeah, that's really it. Hawaii looks to go to 3-1 under all-time passing leader, or was the all-time passing leader, Timmy Chang, before Colt Brennan came to beat that record. But anyway, that's it for college football. So some good games, but again, it's too sparse. We got to do something here. I think a start would be, even if we don't eliminate the lower level teams, if we could just stop with the FCS. Like, I understand, like, oh, it's a moneymaker for the program, but it's a joke. It's a joke and it's just a waste of time. These games that the team, I mean, Villanova, Penn State. I mean, come on. And it's crazy too. There's gonna be over 100,000 people there. I guarantee it. They always draw big crowds there at Penn State, and that is a stadium I'd love to see a game. Went to a campus tour there for my sister way back in the day and was able to walk around Beaver Stadium, but never saw a game. So that's somewhere I want to go. Eugene as well, Oregon. And let's see. So that's really it. I guess one thing I just wanted to ask you, Michael, before we call it a day here, because we never talked about this. What do you think is going to happen with Kawhi and Ballmer?
If it's true, I mean, he could Ballmer
void?
could lose his ownership.
You think? Yeah.
I mean,
or a suspension at least, right?
I mean, what's a suspension to him?
Yeah.
And finance penalties,
right?
And then they could lose Kawhi.
That's wild. That whole thing has been such a flop.
I know.
And you think about it too. I know, obviously now technically they're not in Los Angeles, but it's like it is almost a parallel with the Mets. Second team in town. Yeah. They were so like, sure, they're back. They're back. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It just seems like that's a franchise going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And then the Knicks signed Malcolm Brogdon.
That's a nice little backcourt pickup.
Right? I mean, 1-year deal. Why not?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, dude. Doesn't it not even feel like it? That, like, basketball isn't that far away.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Any hype for you?
I like the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Players play hard, and then obviously the midseason they don't, and then playoffs are good for me.
And I forgot if we ever talked about this. Did you like the Brown hiring or no?
Mike Brown? I don't mind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's always done it, and I think he got a raw deal in Sacramento.
He did.
Honestly. So I think he's a professional coach.
I'm glad they didn't hire Brunson's dad.
Yeah, that guy.
That would have been beat.
Dude, he's a chief, dude. It's just one of those people you could just tell, like, he needs like some type of power, and he needs to poke and intrude.
Yep.
You could smell that from a mile away. Wow. Okay. But can you believe, Michael, that this is it?
I know.
The week has come,
dude. I can't
and
believe
gone. But it was a great week, honestly.
It has been.
And we couldn't have done it without everyone else.
No.
And obviously, we know focus of the weekend, Yankees getting the job done there in
Yes.
Boston. Can't wait to talk about that on Monday. But thank you to all you guys for not only tuning in today, the entire week. We love the interaction, and we encourage everybody to continue to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives in the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume. The merch at DowntimeTV.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees, and we will see you on Monday.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.